Okay, I want to begin by giving Yasher Koach to the sponsors, Chevra Meridian, Jeff Weinberger, and Ralph Hertzke, and the whole Chevra, and also one of our Chaveim who's sponsoring the Shiurim, Liglu Nishmas, Esther Tova Bas Eliezer, Ben Yom HaKohen, and Neshama Shavan Aliyah, and the whole family from Levi Simcha, Nachas, and Bracha. We're on page Nun Zayin. Page Nun Zayin, we're going to begin with the page of Meshivas Nefesh on the piece that we learned from Meshivas Nefesh, which is based on Rabbi Nachman's Torah in Siman Ayin Beis, Torah Ayin Beis. The page that you're just getting now is. I decided that it would be good occasionally to go to the Likutei Tfilas and to daven for what we just learned. You see, many of the Torahs in Likutei Moharan we have Tfilas from Rabbi Nosson. So the Tfilas, I should have done this in the beginning, but it's not too late. But the Tfilas help us to bring these Torahs that we're learning into our lives and to daven for them. So, Mitzvah Shem, I don't know if we'll get to it today, but hold on to the page. Okay, we're learning about one of the strongest strategies of the other side, which is to constantly be mechadesh, to come up with new Yetzer, with different Yetzer. And it's not just because of the variety or the amount, the volume. It's because the person experiences his nefila, his failure, as the same old thing. Just as I have failed 100 times in the past, now it's 101 times. And the danger of that, of course, is that he defines himself as a failure. So Ibn Achman is giving us completely different perspective on this by explaining how this is a different Yetzer. Therefore, you haven't failed at this, although it might seem to you that it's a repetition. It's not true. So what does that mean? Let's learn the explanation. On the bottom of page Nun Zayin. Yesh v'odam isvadeya lo or tzaddik. So that's how the Torah began. That a person hears about the or of a tzaddik, about a certain tzaddik, and he has a service because of something that he heard, or it could be that he learned something in a sefer, whatever it might be, and he has a service to go to see this tzaddik. So either before he goes, or he actually does go, and he loses his cheshek. He loses his interest, his excitement, and he interprets his earlier interest as some sort of a dimion, stam. It was some imagination. He goes to the tzaddik, and it's not what he expected. He loses his cheshek. Or it might be a different thing. It could be with anything in Avodas Hashem. A person has a certain service in his davening. The davening is strong. The davening is going well. So here, the person feels, I'm connecting to davening. Finally, davening is something which is important to me. I feel that it's going, and then just as soon as that his service or the hislavos came, it disappears, or it's much less. Or the person has a service for tshuva. The person goes to Elul and Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, the whole Tishrei, and there was a strong feeling of tshuva. And during those tshuva, the person was busy with the cheshbon hanefesh, the accounting of one's life, and resolutions to change, and regret, and so on over the things of the past. And then Tishrei passes. But whenever that happens to be, that is ours. But the time passes, and you find yourself drawn once again, it seems, to the same taivas, to the same problems that you were trying to solve with your tshuva of Tishrei, and now it's Macheshvan, and it seems that it's just a repeat of Tavshin Pedal, Tavshin Pei Hey. The same thing again, the same problems, the same issues, the same failures, and that's unbelievably disheartening, as all of us know. After Tishrei, to find yourself in the same hole that you were in to begin with. Which, if a person did not try to do any Shuvah during Tishrei, and he did not try to make any changes, then he is in the same hole. He's in the same place. But we're not talking about something like that. We're talking about a person who tried, some more, some less, but the person wanted Tishrei. He tried. He thought about Shuvah. There was some sincere avodah, some sincere regret. Same thing with the person who wanted to go to the tzaddik, the person who felt some hisayrus by davening. We're not talking about a person who's not doing anything. These are people who are trying. And there is something. But then the time passes, and then they find themselves in the same place. It seems that there has been no change or progress at all, which is the main reason why people just give up. Why should I try something? Right? There was a smart person, it's not in the Sefer, there was a smart Jew who said, I think that if you repeat the same thing and you expect different results, you're crazy. You're insane. You keep on trying the same thing, and you're expecting there to be different results. That's a Michigan. So that's unbelievably disheartening. So what happens to many people is, I tried during Tishrei, just like I did last year, and I tried this year, and here again I'm confronted with the same problems, the same issues. So what did I accomplish? So the whole Tishrei and all of my davening and all the slichas and everything else and all the screaming and all the singing was a dimyon, a stam, nothing. Wasn't really anything. If it was something that was real, I'd be past these problems, and I'm in the same place. So person's back to the same taivus. And he has a nefilas hadas. He becomes discouraged. When am I going to finally win? When am I going to win? At some point, you begin to feel like the New York Mets or something. That again and again and again. And when am I finally going to? When am I finally? I got to some people here. When am I finally going to win? The Yankees lost the World Series, but they were in the World Series. So at some point you look at yourself as a loser. There was a very sweet person I just met last week who I never met him before, and he asked me, so what's the story with Mashiach? I said, what do you mean? What's this? I don't have any inside scoop on him. Just like you, I mean, I just know davening and hoping. So there are a lot of amazing things that are going on, and I'm very excited, and I'm hoping that this is it. So he said to me, he said, did you ever read any Charlie Brown comics? So I said, sure. We grew up with Charlie Brown. I don't know if any of you remember that, but we grew up with Charlie Brown comics. And he said, you remember that there was this nasty trick that Lucy used to always mess up Charlie Brown. She would put the football, and she would stand there and get him ready. And he would run every time he believed it, and every time he trusted Lucy, and he would run full speed to give like a punt, to give a kick, and every single time, right, Lucy would pull the ball away, and then Charlie Brown would do a spin and fall on his back. So this person said to me, that's what I feel it's like. That's how I feel. I feel like every time, so then it happened by the Persian Gulf War, so all the rabbis and all the Mekubalim and everybody's all hyped up and sending out these, Ramozim that you see that the gematria of this is the gematria of that, and it equals Mashiach and equals Gul. And then he said, I feel like Charlie Brown. And every time he says, I go for it. I run for the football, and then Hashem pulls it away. It's not bad. No, it's not pretty good. It's a pretty good marshal. It's a pretty good marshal for how we feel. So, with the exception of Charlie Brown, who's very tmimizdik, and some tzaddikim, it's very easy for a regular person who's has more than a kazayas of cynicism to feel like I'm just done with this game. I'm not falling for Lucy's football anymore. I'm not going to try to kick it, because every time I try to kick, I end up on my back. So we were talking for a while, and the difference between Hakadosh Baruch and Lucy, and to try to but nevertheless, it's still a very, very real and strong feeling that a person has. That Tavshin Pei Daled, I tried, and then it didn't work. So Tavshin Pei Hey, I ran Rosh Hashanah, I ran the whole Slichas Rosh Hashanah, the whole thing. I ran Mamish. I gave it the best kick I could, and the ball was pulled away. And here I am again, Tavshin Pei Hey. So everybody likes to have Ramazan for what it stands for, right? Tavshin Pei Hey. Tieshnas Hashgacha Pratis. Somebody mentioned to me a good remez. I saw it from a tzaddik also. But you could just say Tieshnas Po. Here I am. It's another year, and I'm still here. Tieshnas Po. I hate to give a bad remez, but Tieshnas Po. Here I am. Not in Yerushalayim. I'm not the tzaddik. I was thought I'm still here. Tieshnas. That's bad. It shouldn't be that. But Tieshnas, sometimes you feel like Tieshnas Po. What did I? And you don't have to even change the letters around. It comes out perfect, straight. Tieshnas Po. I'm just here. I'm here where I was, and I didn't get any further. And is Hashem getting us all excited now with everything that's been happening in Eretz Yisrael and all the nisim against our enemies, and now this last week that there was a nitzachon of the side of Toiv in America. We feel a certain Pesach, and now every day is hiring chaver that are all like that seem to like Jews and love Eretz Yisrael, and they're getting ready to daven mincha in the White House soon. All these things that are going on. It's just, is Hashem going to pull the football out? And then you feel like you get much more cautious when you run to it. If you don't trust, you start to get very, very nervous. Why am I going to put these kaiches in? So it's a very, very big question, b'chlal, and how Hashem fears the Welt, how He runs the world, and of course Hashem's Zach is not Lucy, and every single time that the person is running to give a kick in the rain pneumias, the ball is being sent off mamish a million miles. And there are many, many ways and other things to talk about with that painful question and the way that it was framed in Charlie Brown. But in the person's own avodah, it's very, very hard. And forget about the whole global thing in Mashiach. Not forget about, just for a second to turn away from that, and just within one's own life, that feeling of I'm just here, I'm just the same thing. Everything's the same. What changed? Yeah.
Isn't there a lot to be said? I remember your class about showing up. The guy who puts on his matzeva, I showed up.
Sure.
So, Tieshana Po, there's a lot to be said for this.
Absolutely. That's one of the mahalchim that we have to be mechazik each other. But the fact that in the cartoon, Charlie Brown is a shaita, he's a loser. That's the whole point of this comic strip, is that he's a nebuch. But because he's just showing up to kick a football. But when a person shows up to mincha, and the mincha hasn't felt the mincha, he hasn't felt a good mincha, and he still comes to mincha, that itself is a gewaltig nitzachim. And in Pneumius, that's really what Rabbi Nachum is talking about. But this is the chiddush. But that's 100% right. But this is the chiddush. At some point, the person feels it's the same Yetzer, it's the same taiva, it's the same mess. So I can't win. I'm never gonna win, and I'm gonna leave this world. Whatever that is, 70, 80, 90, 120, I'm gonna leave this world, and I'm never gonna kick the ball. I thought that I defeated it, and here it is again. So people just walk away. This is happening to tons of our kids. They grew up, and I'm saying they were the ones that went to yeshiva. They're very sincere, sweet kids, and they heard good stuff, and they tried, and then what they heard in the class, or they heard the shmooze, they didn't kick the football, and they feel that what's the point? Again, in anything else in life, if you're not good at something, and you see over and over and over again that you're not good at it, so the teva of a person is to try something else. It's not working for you. It's not good. So try something else. Especially when Yiddishkeit is to begin with so difficult with so many no's and you can't, and so the kids they hear this, I can't, and then when it comes to things that I'm supposed to, that they're telling me that I can't. I'm not successful. So, it's very, very, very discouraging. And you can understand why a person walks away. It's an amazing thing how when we grow up, we can't understand like the kids doing this stuff. Now the adults have a hard time understanding why these kids, why these teenagers, why they discouraged, why they walking away. We were like, kicking the ball all over the place when we were kids. And we also were discouraged. How did we make it through and here we are, as Jews that are keeping Torah mitzvahs? Everybody has their own Maisa. Everybody has their own Megillah, and whatever it is, but that kid's going through something. And they could feel very, very discouraged. And we need to try to understand and to go back to when we were kids and to try to remember how difficult that could be and how discouraging it could be. You're trying to understand the black and blur. You see the guy over here, and the guy over there gets it, and you don't get it, and you try, and so it's and it's the same thing when it comes to mitzvahs and masim tovim. So the yesod of this, however, is a very, very big mistake. This way of thinking is, of course, is rooted in a deep mistake, which Rabbi Nachman is talking about in Meshivas Nefesh. Ulam aleinu ladas. Couple lines up from the bottom. Ulam aleinu ladas. She'ein zemach mishlein yitzech as Yetzer. Okay, so let's take the person that had a nice Rosh Hashanah Kippur, davening, some sincere regret over things and some commitments to changing. Just now, just a month ago, and went through that, and now it's the same Yetzer. It seems that he's filling with the same thing, same stuff he was doing before. He's doing now. So the conclusion that he reaches is Shalom nitzech es Yetzer. And it seems to be a pretty logical conclusion. Shalom nitzech es Yetzer. He was unsuccessful. He did not vanquish the dragon. He did not defeat the Yetzer Rosh Hashanah Kippur. It didn't happen. So it was a failed Tishrei. Lo nitzachti. And I didn't win. Rabbi Nachman is teaching us that that's not true. Again, if the person didn't try at all, then it is true. He didn't try, so he didn't try. Nothing changed. But we're talking about a person that tries. So he says this is a mistake. This way of thinking is a mistake. Now, what Rabbi Nachman is teaching you have to review and think about, and that's why I wanted the tefillah also to daven for, because it's not our way of thinking. It's so counterintuitive in the whole way that we think, and even things that we heard in different shmuzim or drushes over the years. It's very, very different. And it sounds in the beginning somewhat ludicrous. The reason that you don't have the hislavus for this right now, in other words, you don't have the excitement over this project, whether it's davening or going to a tzaddik or tshuva, the reason that you don't have this original hislavus is mishum shekvar zoch lahargas Yetzer. It's because the truth is you already did defeat that Yetzer. You defeated the Yetzer with your davening and your commitment and whatever it is that you. You already was zeicher to defeat the Yetzer. So what do you mean? I defeated it. Here it is. Po imano hayom. Here's the Yetzer, and it looks the same to me. It's the same, whatever. It's got the same kafia, the same gun. Looks the same to me. What has happened? What changed? What progress was made? She'eslavus nelemes mishum shekvar zoch lahargas Yetzer. Okay, is boy olav Yetzer chadash. What you're seeing now is the Yetzer chadash. It's a new Yetzer. Whenever something becomes stale, it becomes old, naturally you lose your excitement. The nature of a person is to feel excited over something which is new. It's the same thing when it comes to fighting your opponent. If the same opponent is sent into the ring with you every single time, and you've been going through this time after time, your neshama knows that you're ready for a new opponent. Not only that, but you're really at a point inside of yourself that you're ready for a stronger opponent. Not only that you're ready for, but you would like to have a stronger opponent. I don't know if any of you ever had the misfortune of being at a job that's unchallenging. I don't know if that's something that you've ever felt what that's like. That's a Gehenna. But only if you're a person that cares and that's ambitious and that tries and that is looking for some meaning in life. If you're such a person, then being at some sort of a job that's unchallenging is terrible. Even though, of course, you could be me'ashiv yourself that it's like I have to make a living, and that's of course that's the thing. You do that. You show up. I'm here, and you have to make a living. You have to take care of yourself and the family. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. You do what you have to. But for a person, a pnimistic mensch, a pnimistic person, to be at a job that's completely unchallenging, and it's like a dead end, it's a miserable thing. It's a terrible thing. And if you're satisfied with that, it's like when you were in school and they told you, that you want this teacher, you can get an easy A. And if you've ever done that, and you've ever gone for the easy A teacher, you've found that course to be extremely unsatisfying. If you still are a Baal Seichel, if you still care about Dvarim Sichli, because anytime that I did that, because like a couple of the guys were saying, go for this is like an easy A, and I said, oh, yeah, all right, so I'd rather not have to study, so I'll just get, or write a paper, and they say that this guy's an easy A. So every time I did that, which was only a few times in college or in graduate school, and I went for the easy A because that was the hack that this was an easy A. I never felt good about it afterwards. I mean, it was good to have the A, but I never felt good about it. It's I felt like it was a wasted semester. I never felt good about it. So if you're a chitzonistic person and all you're looking for easy A's, then there are ways to find them. And you can be at a job that's completely unchallenging. But if you're a person that's an ish pnimi, even if you're getting a lot of money for something that's unchallenging, and that sounds to everybody weird. That sounds great. Sign me up. To get paid a lot of money for something that's meaningless and that's unchallenging, that sounds like it's the greatest deal in the world. But if you're an ish pnimi, it's not. It's not. So, you've had a conversation with someone that says, "Nah, I don't want to have children." I've been a couple times by Shabbos by people, and so it looks like it's a big pain in the neck to have kids. They say no a lot of times. They make a mess. They give you a hard time. You have to pay a lot of money for them. But an ish pnimi knows that's an unbelievable bracha. Because the nature of that world of pnimius is to relish being challenged, to want to be challenged, with the understanding that only through a new challenge in my life do I have the possibility to truly ascend to something higher. And there's a wonderful Talmud Chacham that was sending me some messages last couple of days, 2 or 3 messages about this Nakuda, and I was just in touch with him right before I came in about this Nakuda, which I think is something which is what we've all experienced as being true. That Rabbi, you're the ish pnimi is able to look at himself living through a nefila, living through a difficulty, and through that difficulty to aspire to something, not just to get back to where he was originally, but to recognize that Kadosh Baruch Hu, this hashgacha pratis, that if you went through this, if you're going through this, means Hashem is not just telling you that recover your loss and come back to where you once were, but he's creating within you a certain possible level of desperation and longing, as we're going to talk about in the next Torah, a certain desperation and longing to make something more of your life than you ever have in the past. Not just to get back to where I was, to make something greater of myself than in the past, and to be and dafka through suffering that defeat, but picking yourself up and being determined to go forward, that you're able to find within yourself kaiches that you didn't have, to take on a challenge that you never would have been prepared for had you not gone through that difficult and painful defeat. Again, that's the teva of creation. Hashem's Baruch made the world in such a way, and these thousands of years that we've been through have all followed along in that seder. So therefore, it was davka through the Churban that we came to the Torah Sheba'al Peh. But we were challenged by the darkness after the Churban, the horrible darkness of how to connect to Hashem in the absence of a Beis HaMikdash, in the absence of Nevuah, in the absence of a Kohen Gadol, and the unbelievable challenges that we had never faced outside of Eretz Yisrael were now staring at us in Gullus. And what did we respond with? Rabbi Shem Yochai, Rabbi Akiva, Chacham Odif Minavi, and in a certain way, there's a higher level of Chachma than to Nevuah. We found within ourselves such kaiches, davka through the Churban. We became greater. And all of history is in such a way, from the beginning of time. From Adam and Chava and what happened in Gan Eden. It doesn't mean that you necessarily feel great about it. What Rabbi Nachman is saying is, what you're experiencing now is a new Yetzer. It looks the same as the old one. It looks the same. It's a taiva sachila. It's a taiva of nus, chalila. It's a taiva of whatever. It looks the same. It's a taiva to laziness, it looks the same. Case of all of Yetzer, but the truth is, it's not. There's a new Yetzer. And you now have the schus and the responsibility and the opportunity to face this new battle with his chachas as a new challenge. something different. It comes in the same levush. Rabbi Nachman is teaching us that it's a mistake. And that's what Chazal said. Again, what we learned last week. The greater you are, the greater the Yetzer Hara. But I'm not greater than I was. You are greater than you were because you went through Rosh Hashanah Kippur, Tavshin Pei Hey, and you were davening, and you tried to do some shuvah, and you were asking Hashem to help you. It means that you're greater than you were before you did that. That means that now the Yetzer Hara that's confronting you is not the same Yetzer Hara as Tavshin Pei Dal, because you killed that on Yom Kippur. You destroyed that on Yom Kippur. With your fasting and your davening, it's gone. And Hashem gave you a fresh new start. Everything's brand new. The Yetzer Hara of Tavshin Pei Dal is dead. So what is this right now that I'm dealing with? It looks the same, smells the same, talks the same language. I don't know. It looks like the same Yetzer Hara to me. It's the Yetzer Chodesh. But it's the Yetzer Chodesh. On the outside, it looks the same, but it's the Yetzer Chodesh. You're not the same person. It's not the same Yetzer. It's the Yetzer Chodesh. Now, don't be a baby. Stand up with his chachas. The Yetzer Hara is mischadish. The Yetzer Hara is new every day. The Yetzer Hara is trying something new, and you change things up and be mischadish and kill this manifestation of Ra that's now up up against you right at this moment. His chachas with his chachas. Because this is the whole koich of the Yetzer Hara. And this is how the Yetzer Hara works. Shaba al ha'adam b'yischadshus, the Yetzer Hara comes with ischadshus. A new Yetzer Hara, fresh, excited. It's not an old Yetzer Hara. There's an old Yetzer Hara that's tired and it's bored. It's not hard to defeat. An old Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara that's not strong, that's not motivated, that's tired, that's already. So it's not hard to defeat such Yetzer Hara. Yetzer Hara comes with ischadshus. Yetzer Hara comes as something with fresh Yetzer Hara, like at a good night's sleep, and, strong and fresh. It's ischadshus. Shabal Adam ischadshus, umababel Isai bekach, and this confuses you. Shamara asma kegibor god, because now you see this Yetzer Hara that was a Yetzer Hara that you had in the past, and now it comes to you like, oh, refreshed and with muscles and powerful, and that's how you see it now. Shamar asma kegibor god, like some powerful gibor, like some powerful warrior. She'i efshal anatzchai, that can't be defeated. You can't defeat. And you bring a proof for this. Next page. Sharei Tamid Ha'adam Neifel Shuv. And your greatest proof is my past record. The greatest proof is my record. If you look at my scorecard, if you look at the record, I lost. That's my record proves that I'm not able to defeat this. Because to you it seems like it's the same Yetzer Hara, and it's just coming back stronger than before. But it's the same thing, and Mimela, I'm the same person. It's the same Yetzer Hara, the same way I failed 100 times before, so I'm going to fail again. Here I thought I did some davening and some tshuva. So then if I did, and if it worked, then how come I have the same Yetzer Hara? Not only the same Yetzer Hara, it's even crazier. It's even stronger than the past. Because the Yetzer Hara is all refreshed. It's a new year. The Yetzer Hara also has a new year. And it comes back with the chachas. And these machshavas weaken the person. They just take away your energy. And you don't want to, where am I going to go? Trying to kick the football again. But the truth is, Yetzer Hara shakran v'ganiv. And this Rabbi Nachman said over and over again. Throughout Rabbi Nachman, Rabbi Nosson, see, one of the great differences that I felt when I was learning Mussar, which I still do learn, but when I was younger, I was learning. That's what I was. My Rabbi, that's what we learned was Mussar. And learning Chassidus is this nakuda. What I gathered from the Mussar that I learned is that the only real honest part of myself is the Yetzer Hara. I'm the shakran. I'm the liar. The Yetzer Hara that's saying that I'm a worthless piece of garbage. That's the emes. That's the maskana I reached. I know that they didn't mean to teach that to me, but that's the maskana that became clear and clear to me over time. Is that the most honest part of myself is the Yetzer Hara. Who's the shakran? Me. The Yetzer Hara is really telling me the truth about who I am, and I have to defeat that. How do I defeat it? By changing. I defeat it by changing. Then the Yetzer Hara will no longer be able to use that taina. But then I found that even though I did try to make changes, I still found that he had that taina. So Rabbi Nachman, the whole Derech Hashem is not that at all. It's Yetzer Hara shakran v'ganav. The Yetzer Hara is a shakran and a ganav. Now, what do you mean is a shakran? Yetzer Hara says to me that you want to do this affair. You know you want to do this affair. It sounds like I do. It sounds like it's true. So why is he a shakran? A ganav? What he says a shakran, a ganav? I can't. When I would have a desire to daven or to be better, then I would hear, and I was to listen to the Yetzer Hara. I would then hear like the Yetzer Hara laughing. That what are you're kidding? You know that that's not really who you are. You don't really want to daven. You don't really want to learn. The Yetzer Hara makes fun and mocks. So this is the declaration of independence of a Jew. The Yetzer Hara is a shakran and a ganav. We're not used to thinking that way. We used to think of the Yetzer Hara being very, very honest, brutally honest, the most honest, and we're the ones who are delusional. And you'll see that time after time when you learn certain svarim, that they'll over and over. It's the same message. You're deluding yourself. You had a good Rosh Hashanah, good Yom Kippur. It's mamish. Look at you now. You have the same Yetzer Hara. What you were doing the whole Tishrei was not sincere. It was a joke. The whole thing was a joke. Zaraya, here it is again. And there it is. The Yetzer Hara is just mocking and making fun. It's the same thing. The Yetzer Hara is very honest. The Yetzer Hara is telling you the truth about yourself. Shakran v'ganav. Shakran v'ganav. I told you before that you have to let this sink in. You have to think about this. And there's going to be very strong Yetzer Hara that you shouldn't think about this. It's a shakran and a ganav. Umalim Helden, what the Yetzer Hara does very efficiently is it hides from the person. Should take of based chilas esaros that when you had the esaros for Rosh Kippur, when you had the esaros, you already killed him. You already knocked him out. That version of the Yetzer, you killed it. That esaros, you were saying beautiful words of tefillah, and you meant them, and you wanted to do tshuva. You killed the Yetzer. You were menatzeach. Yeah, but what do you mean? If I was victorious, then how come I have the same business now? That's what Rabbi Nachman is saying. This is not the Yetzer, that Yetzer you killed. This is already a different Yetzer. Not from yesterday or from the 2 days ago. Rak Yetzer Chodesh Legamrei. It's all together. It's a new Yetzer. Wearing these lelushim because that's the strategy. That's the strategy. When a person understands that this is the main tachbula, this is the main trick. This is the main trick of the Yetzer. Jabab is chadshus. That Yetzer comes and looks something completely new. It's chadshus. I thought I killed you. And the Yetzer seems like it's the same Yetzer, but the Yetzer is now stronger than before and all refreshed. But it's the same Yetzer. Even after you killed it. This Aragam Anu, we truly understand this, and we daven for this, and we work at this, and we don't delude ourselves. We have to be honest. This Aragam Anu love Allah ba'isam klei milchama. And we will find his chachis within ourselves, and we will accept the challenge of Tavshin Pehei as a new challenge, because I'm a new person, Tavshin Pehei, and I have new kaiches to defeat this new iteration, this new mahadura, this new addition of Ra in my life. I looks the same, it's not, and I'm not. I look the same, I'm not, and I have new kaiches to be able to defeat this. I know to defeat it, but I'm already. The playing field has been moved. It's higher. Because there's this chachis, it's already stronger, and I'm stronger. So I'm moving the bar to a higher place. To be menatzeach, not to be discouraged, but his chachis gedolim. This is the derech of the Yetzer. The Yetzer presents itself like the rays of sun that are coming through the cracks. This is from Rabbi Nachman says this. Which they look like they're real, but you try to grab them like little children will do, and you could never grab them. They look like they're real. When a person, if a person is able to taste in his life, to bring into his heart even a little bit of the sweetness of that light of Amunah, and know, to believe in Hashem, that Hashem is not Lucy pulling away the football. He's able to see that the Yetzer is a shtus. He comes with all these, like looking like the muscles and invincible, and I was never able to defeat him in the past. And I can't now. It's like the rays that are coming through. They look so like it's something that you could physically touch, but it's not. It's not something you could actually touch and hold. Then it's nothing. When a person uses emunah and the or seichel of a mammon of a Jew that's filled with emunah, then to spend your entire life chasing after money, which ends up nowhere and doesn't, and the whole thing ends up in the grave. Whatever you have, this bigger house or this bigger garage or this fancier suit, whatever it is, it's all color of Maryland. It's all, you end up in some garbage heap. It ends up as nothing in a grave or some garbage pile. Which is the meaning of niyuf. If a person uses the seichel with or hamuna, think of what's the taiva of that taiva of arayas, of immorality. What's that taiva? You think about it with seichel and or hamuna, it's something which what is? It's something which is disgusting. Or you're thinking right now that what food you're going to get for Shabbos, or I shouldn't use Shabbos because Shabbos is different. But what food you're going to get, and this is your favorite food, and you have a whole time for this food. And a little bit after you eat that food, you have to spritz deodorant. You'll excuse me in the bathroom because it stinks so much. The food that you all you want to do is to have that steak, and you pay $200. $200 probably that's cheap nowadays. You paid who knows what for this steak, and then a little bit later, it smells so bad you have to spritz the bathroom with chemicals to get the stink out of it. I'm sorry, that's what you say. If you think about it. Oh, but the second of putting that in your mouth, it's a shtussim. And it's an amazing thing. The Yetzer is masliach to be mischadish. And the Yetzer is able to come up like, this is a chiddush. This is a steak that you never tasted. This steak is not going to end up in the toilet. This steak is going to end up forever in your mouth. That never ever happened once in your life. That after you ate a piece of steak and it stayed there, it was always gone in a second, and then it goes to the Vesakisa. Yeah, the same thing, has the same ending every time. Every single time, the same ending. I mean, it's sad to think about, but it's a little bit of an awakening. It's the same ending every time. And when it comes to other Yetzaros as well, in a different way. It's the same, one second, it's the same ending. And the reason it's so successful is because we take it seriously. Ki'ilu, it's some sort of a mitzias. And what it's saying is real. And the Yetzer, it's like it's something which is invincible. It's absolutely invincible. I can't possibly win. Therefore, the Galon Rabbeinu Zal, if Rabbi Nachman is revealing to us, Shnei de Heitev, to know very well. Sheyetzaru kot ma'oid aganev, a shakran aganev. Kot ma'oid. Kvan nitzachnu es a harbe palmim. And the millions of times over our lives that we already defeated that Yetzer. It's back. Here it is. And it's strong. It's not the same Yetzer. She said, what's the nafkimina? So it's a different Yetzer. So it's not the same Yetzer. Because you're not a loser. You're not a loser. You're a winner. And it's not a game. And it's not a dimion. And you were victorious thousands of times in the past. You fought against and you knocked down. When you look at the war in such a way, the tremendous chizik to win. A cloud, Yetzer comes all different kinds of things. Always something new, something different. Therefore, we shouldn't get confused. His garb say to see it like it's stronger than before. It's not stronger, it's different. Because our whole fight in this world is to mischazik, and to fight against it on a new level, and to go for something higher than we were in the past, to reach for something greater than in the past. Why is it?
Is there going to be a Yetzer for a while or a Yetzer after Mashiach?
We were promised that at that time the Yetzer is going to, the Satan Malcham is going to be destroyed, but they are going to be Madregas. This Ram tells us in Ruchnius, in Tov, in the world of good, there are higher and higher Madregas. In the world of Tov, that we could conquer and reach higher and higher Madregas of Tov. But what we learn now is the famous story that I've told many times, even I think maybe a month or two ago, about the Rabbi Zusha and the Rabbi Melech and the conversation that they had about, about what happened in Gan Eden, and how Rabbi Zusha said that I was the one that pushed Adam Rishon to eat from the tree. Because we were all there, but we were all part of Adam Rishon. So the Rabbi Zusha said to his brother, I was the one that did. I pushed his hand. I was in his hand. I pushed his hand. So the Rabbi Melech said, what are you talking about? You're the biggest tzaddik in the world, and I don't know what you're talking about. So the Rabbi Zusha said, no, I wanted to do a taiva for the world. I did a big taiva. Because if Adam and Chava would not have eaten from the tree, then the snake would always be holding in his hand, a closed hand, and say, you have no idea what I have over here. This is unbelievable. This is Givaldi, what I have over here. And I know that the Yetzer, the snake is a chakran and a ganav. And therefore, I pushed Adam to eat from the tree. And the Adam and Chava saw right away, this is not Givaldi. This is miserable. This is horrible. And he gets thrown out of Gan Eden. and your whole life gets all messed up from this. Because Rabbi Zusha said, I don't want the whole world to go around thinking till the end of time. Maybe he says something. Maybe he's talking some truth to this Yetzer thing. So I forced it, and I forced this in, and now the whole world knows he's a shakran, he's a ganav. That's all. A shakran and a ganav. He brought nothing to the world except misery. And the same way it happened with Adam Chava, same thing with us. It's a shakran and a ganav. Zehu. So I'd rather, Rabbi Zusha said, I'd rather that we live honest lives and fight hard than being fooled and being deceived for our entire lives. So it's hard, but we'll fight. At least you have to know the truth. As a shakran and a ganav. But the Yetzer is a shakran and a ganav. Good Shabbos.